Kitty. This is my vlog where I talk about all the things I love about sewing, and today is a makes video. I will first add a disclaimer that it is still the summer holidays in the UK, and so I may have to stop several times to interrupt World War III that could be going on upstairs. All three of my kids are hopefully going to stay quiet long enough for me to show you what I've been making recently. I hope you guys liked my previous video, my tutorial. I've had some really lovely comments, so thanks so much. I would be really pleased if you would subscribe to my channel, click the bell, or give me a thumbs up to say that you like my videos. Right, so the first thing I'm going to talk to you about today is what I'm wearing, and this is one of my favourite makes for a long time. I have literally washed and worn it over and over and over again the last couple of weeks, or however long it's been since I made it. I will show you. It is made from this beautiful Loubidou fabric, which is called Grey Floral Spot, I think, and she does still have some left. I will add in the show notes below the web address for Loubidou fabrics. It was kindly sent to me. You might remember, if you've seen a previous video, that I made a wrap dress out of it, and I just enough left over to squeak out this little tank top because I had bought myself a new book. So this book by Wendy Ward is called Sewing with Knitted Fabrics. I, like a lot of people, have made quite a lot of the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, and this book wasn't really on my radar until I happened to be browsing on Amazon and I found it there, and luckily for me it was in the sale as well. I think it was £8.70 or something, which I thought was really good value for money, because there are 20 garments that you can make mix and match with these patterns in this book. So I quite like this dress on the front cover. I probably wouldn't make it quite so loose and baggy as that, but that could be a nice piece for the summer. Sort of a nice loose fitting jersey elasticated waist dress. And flicking through, there's lots of really nice makes in here. I'll just show you a couple of the pictures so you get an idea. There's some nice tops. There's a couple of different hacks that you can do to make the tops a bit more individual, which is nice. I think I'm going to have a go at the long sleeve t-shirt for autumn. There were also some trousers which I quite like the look of. I think they could be really comfortable lounge trousers made out of something like a Ponte Roma or something in the winter. What was the other one I liked the look of? Oh, the cardigan. So there is a cardigan called the Kinder. There's a picture of it there, which is a really nice classic shaped cardigan, and I just thought that would be perfect. I particularly like, oops, dropped all the patterns on the floor, this long line version, which would be a bit more like a coat again. Good for those sort of months where it's not quite cold enough to go for a full-on coat, but it's a bit chilly. So yeah, looking forward to making all of those things. The only pattern in here which I was not really very keen on is this dress. I'm sure on certain people this would look awesome, but I'm not keen on the pocket detail here. It's right on the hip, and I think unless you were quite careful about that, it might make you look really wide around the hips. And there's one there sort of made up in a bit of a funkier fabric. So yeah, out of all the patterns, that's the only one I don't think I'll make because it wouldn't suit me. But there's some nice trouser bottoms. This I quite fancy having a go at. So the vest top that I've made already is obviously an ordinary top, but this is just lengthened into a dress, which looks really nice. I don't know actually how much of the summer is left, to be honest, because it is absolutely hacking down with rain today. So there may not be that many more opportunities to make summer clothes, but I'm really pleased with this vest top. So I can't remember what size I made. Her sizing is kind of different to most other pattern books. You go by the measurements, which is nice because you're not sort of pigeonholed into, you know, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So it's less confusing from that point of view, but it did take me a while to figure out what I should have been, where the measurements were and which one I had to cut out and stuff like that, so just be aware. Yeah, so I managed to get this out of a tiny bit of fabric. I'll just stand up so you can see. It's a really nice length. I've got it on with ready to wear grey jeans today, which goes really nicely, but also goes nicely with shorts. I mean, it's just a simple vest top. As you can see, the bottom isn't shaped, it's just a straight hem. I did my usual twin needle on the hems as well, as overlocking, and then a twin needle on the tops. It gives it a nice professional finish. And like I say, it's just nice, really lovely, pretty tank top. So a bit more special than an ordinary tank top, but still just as comfy and wearable. So really big thumbs up for that pattern. Yeah, and stay tuned for more makes from that book, because I'm sure there'll be a couple more coming up. So I move on to the next thing I've made, and oh, I can't wait to show you this one. So I'll show you this. Tilly and the Buttons. You know, if you've been watching my previous videos, I've made my way through the entire book, and I've made almost everything in the book so far. So the only thing left to make are the tracksuit bottoms now, because I've since made a hoodie. And I will just show you, most people know what this hoodie looks like. It's been everywhere. This Stitchy Bee's just done a great video, and that's actually what inspired me to get on and make mine, because it's been in the pipeline for a while. So this is the Stella hoodie, it's called, from this book, which nearly practically everybody must have a copy of by now. And I made it out of 1 metre of scuba fabric. So my husband bought me some scuba for Christmas, along with another whole bunch of other fabrics from myfabrics.co.uk. And the scuba he bought was 1 metre piece, and I could not figure out what to do with it, because a metre isn't really enough to make quite a lot of things. So I had to trace the pattern pieces out. What I did was, all the pieces that were on the fold I made into full-size pattern pieces, and that way I could move everything around with the whole piece of fabric out flat on the table. And after about, I don't know, half an hour of Tetrising all these pieces, I did manage to get a hoodie out of 1 metre of scuba, which is fantastic value. The only piece I had to cut slightly differently than the lay plan was the top of the hood. So the hood comes in 3 parts. It's got 2 side bits and then the strip that goes down the middle. And I had to turn the strip that went down the middle to go the opposite way to the grain in order to get the whole lot out of the 1 metre. But it actually probably doesn't make any difference with scuba, because it's a knit fabric. It certainly doesn't look unusual or behave differently because of that. I guess it's just, yeah, no, it's not even less stretchy. So with a 4-way stretch, it really doesn't matter. So yeah, I was so pleased. So I'll show you this. It's like a marl grey, almost oatmeal colour, this scuba, and it's got a really nice sort of like mottly effect to it. It's lovely and thick and warm. I used some Ponte Roma for the cuffs and the hem, and as you can see, I've messed with the stripes. So I put horizontal stripes on the hem, on the arms, and then vertical stripes on the hemband, because I just want it to be a bit different. And I put the stripes also inside the hood, so it all ties together nicely. And I want to thank everybody on Instagram and on Facebook that gave me their opinions about what to use, because I was mulling over the idea of using like a dark grey ribbing that I had in my stash, and pretty much 99% of people said go with the stripes. So it's kind of been yeah, one of those makes where everybody had their say. So I was quite pleased. I was going to go with navy blue shoelaces. I couldn't find any anywhere, so when I came across this red in the shoe shop, I just thought, oh yeah, nautical theme, will go with the red, and actually I think it's really nice. I put the kangaroo pocket on the front. The only thing is slightly long, this top. I mean, it fitted perfectly straight off the pattern. I made a size 4, the sleeves are exactly the right length. I think the next time I make one, and there is another one planned, I will take an inch off the length, just because on hoodies usually the kangaroo pocket comes right down to the bottom band, and you sort of sew it in when you top stitched along here. And as you can see, I haven't top stitched this seam down. I mean, it's all overlocked and neat and tidy anyway, but this pocket, when you're looking at ready to wear hoodies, is usually down here, so that when you sew the pocket on and you sew right the way around and top stitch, it's all sort of included in the same, not seam really, but you know what I'm saying. I lined the pocket also with some stripes that I had left over. This was left over from my stripy dress that I made. So yeah, that's nearly all gone now, so I'm really pleased, because I have had this whole aim of like busting my stash. I've got so much fabric. I had self-imposed fabric buying ban, which I have just broken. I am disappointed with myself, but it was a sale that cracked me. I mean, I was literally like, I'm not, you know, my husband, he was part of it. He was like, have you seen this jersey? It's like £5 a metre. And I was like, what? £5 a metre? And then he showed me it, and then I was like, no, well, I'm not buying fabric, am I? I'm using my stash up. I'm not buying any fabric. And he was like, yeah, but it's so nice. It's organic jersey. It'd be great for the kids. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not buying any fabric. And then he went to work, and then I bought the fabric. And I bought some mustard French terry as well, because once you open those floodgates, that's it, you know, it's just purchases, you know, take my wallet. But anyway, yeah. Shall I pop this on? I'll pop this on so you can see what it looks like. I have got pictures of me wearing it, and it's really muggy today, so I probably won't keep it on long because it is super, super hot. But it fits really, really well. I love the shape of it. I'll stand up and show you. So I didn't make the hem at the bottom too tight, but it's tight enough to give the top a bit of shape, because there's nothing worse than standing sideways. Sometimes if you don't put this band on here tight enough, I've made it before with a linden, and the front just sort of gapes out and doesn't have any shape to it. So I made it tight enough so that it's just catching on my hips there and giving it a bit of shape. You can see my cuffs there in the kangaroo pocket. Just sit down and show you the top half. So you've got, I think this is a 114 centimetre shoelace that I bought from JJB Sports, I think, somewhere like that. It was like £2 or something. So I've got another one that I could use for another project. And then the hood, I'm going to show you the hood. Nice big hood. Got the stripes on the inside. Yeah, totally, absolutely made up with this pattern. And as much as I love all the pretty dresses and pretty skirts, actually I know that I will live in this hoodie come autumn, winter, because I'm that kind of girl. I like jeans and a hoodie. Yeah, so thumbs up, Tilly. I haven't found a pattern yet that I don't like. I'll just take this off, and I have got one more to show you, which I have to go get changed for, so be back in a minute. Okay, so this is my next make, and it's the Sew Over It Silk Cami, which I have on a PDF, so it's a cut and stick together job, which isn't too bad when it's a small pattern. I'm not a massive fan of PDFs, I have to say. I'm much more old school. I like a nice paper pattern, but when it's a small thing like this, I don't mind. I have to say I had a lot of problems with this pattern, fitting issues mainly, and speaking to other people online, I think quite a few other people have found the sizing a bit unusual or difficult to sort of fit properly. So you'd think with a cami it would be quite a straightforward make, and I was quite pleased with myself. I cut all the pieces out, put it in a plastic Ziploc bag ready to sit down and do some sewing one evening. And it took me hours and hours, mainly because according to my measurements I needed to make a size 12, and the size 12 was tiny. I mean, I don't know, I'm sure I didn't do anything wrong. I definitely printed the PDF out to the right scale, traced it off properly, But when I mean, it was annoying too because I went to all the effort of doing French seams and everything, and then when I went to put it on, I just couldn't get it round my chest, and I have not got an ample bosom. So for a size 12 not to fit round my chest was a bit surprising, really. It's got a facing, so there's a facing here which has it's a shaped facing which goes down like this. And I think a lot of my problem was with this facing. So it kind of seems to be really tight across the top of your bust. So what I had to do was I had to unpick all of my French seams, which made me pretty upset to begin with, because it looks so neat and tidy and lovely inside. But yeah, I unpicked all the French seams and I sewed it again together with a much smaller seam allowance, 1/4 of an inch on my overlocker. And it's still a bit tight, and the saddest thing is I can't wear any scaffolding. I mean, most of us girls, we love a bit of scaffolding around this area if we're a bit small in the bosom department, which I am. So I can't wear my favourite underwear with this top. I have to wear something that is really got 0 padding in it at all in order to fit it properly. Having said that, I have worn it out and about. I'm not a crazy fan of the fabric. It's a bit scratchy, even though it's really beautiful. I think it's really synthetic. There's, it feels like polyester, kind of. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I didn't pay any attention when I bought it, but I loved the pansies. That's what I went for, and the grey, or sort of like bluey grey background. But it's not my favourite, I have to say. It's a little bit sheer, you can see. I had to take a good 2.5 centimetres, I think, off the facing. Can you see what it's doing there as I'm sitting here? It's just pulling across here. So I took 2.5 centimetres off the length of the facing behind, because before I did that I couldn't get it on at all. The armholes are absolutely fine size. It's just weird that it's like massively tight here. I'll just stand up so you can see the fit elsewhere. The fit elsewhere is actually, you know, quite roomy. I know it's meant to be loose fitting, being a cami, but yeah, odd. So I don't think I'll be making another sew over it cami unless I go for the size 14, in which case I think I'd have to take some of the, I mean, it's going to have more fabric around the middle then, isn't it? And to be honest with you, a cami pattern is so straightforward and quick a make that I can't be bothered really to mess around with fitting this one anymore. I think I will go for the Ogden cami as a next try. Whether or not that happens this summer, I don't know, because like I said, there may not be much time left for sewing summer clothes now, with the weather still looking a bit dodgy. So yeah, sorry, didn't love this one, sew over it. I don't know quite why, but yeah, normally I make a size 10, so I went for a 12, and yeah, I don't know, just seems on the sizing seems on the small side. So I'm going to leave this on for now and just talk to you about another couple of things I've made. My friend Emma has a sewing room, which I'm mega jealous of, because I just have a corner of my dining room to sew in, and she and I have been, we're going to the knitting and stitching show this year together, and she's been getting into sewing and sending me pictures of her makes and stuff. So I made her a little embroidery on my mum's, look away now if you're easily offended, by the way, because there's a rude word in this. I made her this little motif to put into an embroidery hoop and hang up in her new sewing room. So that's nice. I'm going to send her that, or give it to her next time I see her at work. I've also made something for the kids. So this was just made in an evening, a busy bag for them. Often when we go out in the summer to pub gardens, and when they go in car journeys and stuff, they get fed up and bored really easily. And I had made some of these years ago and they got wrecked, as kids stuff normally does. So it was about time I made a new one. This time I put a little bit of wool on for a bit of hair. I've appliqued the eyes on, and then of course the pencils become the teeth. And it's quite nice really, it sort of makes a feature of it. This bag is a 70p or £1 calico bag, and you can buy them in bulk either on the internet or Hobbycraft sell them, I think, for £1 each. So I was too lazy to make my own bag, but you know, life's too short for that. So yeah, inside I've got activity books and bits and pieces and paper and things to keep them busy. So, and they are not allowed to use this bag unless we're going somewhere, and that will increase the anticipation to see what's inside, I'm hoping, so make it more, you know, exciting for them. And then the last couple of things I've got to show you are makes for work. So remember the sea salt fabric I showed you in a previous video? I've cut this all up into rectangles for incubator cot sheets. So all I need to do now is just hem them with the overlocker. And I have also made a breastfeeding cover-up. I was planning on making a whole bunch of breastfeeding cover-ups, but we were really kindly donated over 300 by a charity, so I went with sheets instead. I'll just go and get the breastfeeding cover-up to show you. So this is a breastfeeding cover-up just made with a big rectangle of fabric, and then what I've done is put boning in the top hem, so that when you wear this, when you're breastfeeding, you can see it sticks out from your body, so you can see what your baby's up to down there. And the plan with that was to help mums when they're expressing to have a little bit more privacy if they wanted it. But like I said, I only made one of these, and then we kindly donated so many from charity that I decided sheets instead. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed my video. Like I said before, please subscribe and like. I haven't forgotten about my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is an embroidery and a hoop that you can win. But I just need to go shopping and get some hoops, and then I'd be happy to send one of those anywhere in the world to any one of my subscribers once I've decided how to go about running the competition. I love reading comments, so please pop a comment down in the box below if you like my video, and I will see you next time, hopefully with a fabric haul that shouldn't have happened, but yeah, can't wait. Alright, see you later. Bye!